Good evening, everyone. It's May 7th, 2019. I'm Eric. I'm here at DC Clothesline. Congo Ebola outbreak exploding. Right on schedule. Hospital workers flee. Now, two Ebola videos ago, and it's been some time now. A fair amount of time, anyway. I explained that certain criteria had to be met in order for Ebola to be a threat to the people of the North American continent. Not just the United States, but, Mexico, all that. And the video following that, the criteria had been met. The last video I did about Ebola. Here we are, I think about a week later, Congo Ebola outbreak exploding, right on schedule. Hospital workers flee. And there's another one of the things I talked about, the hospital workers. So, yet another thought that I shared about this particular outbreak turned out to be dead on. So this comes from Vicky Batts. How'd you like to have that thing floating around inside you? Not good, man. Not good. I'd rather deal with just about anything else other than a pandemic. Straight up. Who wants to sit around and watch their loved one or loved ones and die such a horrific death? I think a bullet is more merciful, personally, but, murder and all. Okay. Alright, my bad. I got cotton mouth. Okay, so the video about the criteria. I said that Ebola was not much of a threat unless certain criteria were met. Among these criteria was a billionaire helping infected refugees to the border. That happened. Them paying for plane tickets. Now, I don't know how the refugees down there on the Mexican border, I don't know how they got to Mexico. I don't know if they took a boat. I don't know that. But either way it goes. If they took a boat, at least some of the people they had contact with will end up showing symptoms. Now, Ebola has about a 3-week incubation period, 1 to 3 week. So these guys could potentially spread it all over hell before they even start to display symptoms. I don't like making Ebola videos because, a lot of people will call it fear-mongering. I'm not trying to scare anyone. But this is something that people really need to fucking take seriously. After all, Bill Gates called a pandemic one of the biggest threats to humanity. Now, I wouldn't put it past Bill Gates to create the circumstances for such a thing to happen. After all, the vaccines he supported did paralyze a whole bunch of Indian girls over there in India. So there's no reason to think that he wouldn't do something like that. He would, and so would a lot of other people out there. A couple college professors. Just what about vindictive hospital workers? I mean, these people didn't get much support. The hospital workers, right? They were under constant threat from one of the 100 militias around that area. So maybe one of these workers ends up having a bone to pick with the whole entire system, the UN, the whole thing. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibilities here. But no, I'm not trying to scare anyone. The best thing you can do if Ebola starts to hit, I mean, you know, personally, I think it's a good idea. As soon as you hear 100 infected, it's a good idea to get the fuck out of Dodge. Go somewhere where you're not going to have contact with others. That's the best thing you could do. Take as much food and water as you can carry and get the fuck out of Dodge. Okay. Now, Ebola is overtaking the Democratic Republic of Congo, a nation that is also currently ravaged by war and unrest. Some 100 militias control the area around I can't even say it. Butmodo? I'm not sure, but a city in the nation's eastern region. It is the epicenter of the Congo's Ebola outbreak, but is also home to other dangers, especially for healthcare workers. As The Economist notes, locals are known for being wary of healthcare workers and distrusting them. Locals have even gone so far as to attack and kill medical staff. But perhaps there's a reason for that. Could it be that they know these same people have been injecting them with sterilizing agents for years? Could it be? I don't know. Ebola has been presented to us as a disease, but many experts have cautioned that this virus could actually be a weapon. There have already been reports of terrorist organizations attempting to use Ebola as a weapon. It is not hard to believe the United States government conspired to do the same. Some experts have spoken out about the U.S. government's secret biological warfare research in African countries that also just happen to be Ebola hotspots, right? Just happen to be. With some even suggesting that our own military is testing weaponized viruses on innocent people. Now, I know people would say, oh, it's a conspiracy theory. Oh. But don't forget, we're talking about the same motherfuckers who injected black men with syphilis and didn't tell them, even after the study concluded. We're talking about a government that has used experimentation or done experimentation on its own population for decades. So there's no reason to think that, that this wouldn't be true. I mean, we're dealing with a bunch of fucking mass murderers. Is it an epidemic or engineered? If you follow the mainstream media, you've probably heard that Ebola comes from tainted bushmeat in West Africa. But what most of the media won't say is that until 2013, Ebola had never been seen in West Africa. A 2-year-old boy in the remote village of Melandu, something like that, Guinea, was the first case. Scientists have never determined how he contracted it or where it came from. What they do know is that Ebola somehow managed to travel 3,500 kilometers across the African continent and infect that little boy's community, apparently without infecting anyone else along the way. Francis Boyle, a professor at the University of Illinois College of Law, has posted that the appearance of the virus in West Africa was no accident. In an interview with SIA Novost, oh God, he said U.S. government agencies have a long history of carrying out alleged or allegedly defensive biological warfare research at labs in Liberia, Sierra Leone, among other places. This includes the CDC and which is now the point agency for managing the Ebola spillover into the U.S. So, the CDC is in charge of managing spillover into the U.S. I wonder how good of a job they'll do at managing the outbreak as opposed to creating the outbreak. Problem, reaction, solution. Problem, Ebola. Reaction, holy fuck, we're all gonna die. Solution, a universal Ebola vaccine. Right? Right? So, he added, why has the Obama administration dispatched troops to Liberia when they have no training to provide medical treatment for dying Africans? Why is this an old article? I didn't see anything up there about it being old. Oh, I think they fucked up there. I think they fucked up, people. But it doesn't matter. I fuck up too. Anyway. We'll just go ahead with what it says, even though we all know it's not the Obama administration. He added, why has the Obama administration dispatched troops to Liberia when they have no training to provide medical treatment to dying Africans? How did Zaire Ebola get to West Africa from about 3,500 kilometers away from where it was first identified in 1976? The U.S. government's patent on any and all forms of Ebola is pretty suspicious. No shit. Mike Adams, founder of Natural News, well, you all know who Mike Adams is, reports that the CDC was awarded a patent on the Ebola virus in 2010, 3 years before Ebola suddenly appeared in West Africa. He also reports that the patent gives the government agency ownership of all variants of Ebola which share 70% or more of its protein sequences described in the patent, as well as ownership of over any and all Ebola viruses which are weakened or killed. So if it's a naturally occurring disease, which clearly it's not, but if it were, there would be no patent on it, would there? Pretty strange how 3 years later, first outbreak happens. Pretty weird, don't you think? And you gotta wonder, who else are they gonna use that weapon on? Gotta wonder, right? I mean, they're already using it on human beings. Like they used the atomic bomb on human beings. So, why would anyone believe anything other than they'll probably use it on us? I'm just saying. A whole long history, right, of doing evil shit like that. And people will still have the fucking balls to call it a conspiracy theory. Isn't that funny? I think so. I mean, fuck, the opposite is the conspiracy theory. I mean, just like the federal government being a corporation, right? That's a conspiracy theory too. I guess everything that people like myself say, even though it ends up being true later on, just like I said about this Ebola shit, what, 2 videos ago, even though we're right, a great deal of the time, it's still theory. The FEMA camps are conspiracy theory. Even though it's documented by the government. How can it be a conspiracy theory if it's documented? Fucking people are nuts. That's what it is. If you're like me, I for the longest time I questioned my sanity. Then one day I came to the realization it's not me that's fucking nuts, it's everybody else. And I'm not even kidding. I don't know. I guess I've rambled on long enough, haven't I? Anyway, I thought I would share this with you. The hospital workers, they're fleeing. So you got to wonder, are any of them, those hospital workers, are they capable of getting on a flight? Do they have the means to do so? And how did those infected African migrants make it to the southern border? Criteria is all there. So maybe preparing for the eventuality of an Ebola outbreak on American soil isn't such a bad idea after all, is it? Anyway, if you like my content, please do give me a thumbs up, a share, what else is there? Comment, subscribe, And thank you to Ivan Henderson. Thank you to Ivan Henderson, sir. Appreciate your kindness. Till next time, people. Kill the state, live free.